All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
We're going to start off this video by giving all praise, honor, and glory
To Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rukakudash.
I want to give double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and grace and peace to you elect around the four winds, believing and pushing this truth in all sincerity. May the blessing of election be upon your houses. These are your fellow servants from the GMS Orlando camp coming back at you again with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. All right, tonight's lesson is going to be entitled Finding Your Voice. All right, and this is a lesson inspired by a conversation me and the brother was having, about the importance of finding your voice in this truth, proving your own soul and finding out your rhythm in this truth. All right, because the faster that you find your rhythm and your voice in this truth, all right, the more capable we become spiritually, the more capable we become as vessels of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, But I want to start up the lesson here with Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 37 and verse 27. It says, "My son, prove thy soul in thy life, and see what is evil for it, and give not that unto it." And in our personal day-to-day journeys, we're tasked with the task of proving our own souls, proving what's good for our soul, proving what's not good for our soul. Why? Because every brother is different, like it's going to go on to say. In verse 28, it says, "For all things are not profitable for all men, neither have every soul pleasure in everything."
And part of finding your voice, part of that is finding out what your gifts are that you bring to the ministry. How do you nurture those gifts? By finding out what's good for your spirit and what's not good for it. Because everything ain't good for every brother. When we first came in, a perfect example, when brothers first come in, they cleave to Isaiah 4:1, being able to have more than one woman. But that's not necessarily expedient for every brother. You have the scriptures that tell us that we can drink strong drink, we can drink wine, but everything ain't expedient for every brother, and you have to find that out for yourself. All right. On the spiritual note, your gifts. You may be a good precept brother. You may be the brother that know how to bring out the precepts and bring them out in a particular order. Or you may have a gift of understanding the history, or a gift of understanding and explaining the scriptures. All of these things, the only way you're going to find out is if you examine yourself and you find your voice in this truth. All right, because our voice isn't necessarily distinct from the next brother. We all have the same mind, but you have to discover for yourself through the spirit what's good for you and what's not. What's your gift and what isn't.
Mm-hmm. Right, and finding what's conducive to your spirit is important because it helps you bring yourself back to the center point. It helps you balance yourself, because when we're not around other brothers and we're not around the like-minded spirits to balance us out, and for brothers to check you, when you're by yourself, it's important to be able to check yourself.
Right.
It's important to be able to bring yourself back to that center point, man. All right, I'm eating too much sweets. Let me cut back. All right, I ain't working out enough. Let me go ahead and pick back up on my regimen. Oh, I'm slipping on my reading. Let me get back to that. Or I'm not meditating enough. Maybe I need to get back to that. It's important to be able to bring yourself back to that center point, because it starts with us.
Right.
Each individual makes up the body.
Right.
So when we find out our strengths and our weaknesses and we bring our strengths to the body, it only makes the body better. That's why it's important for us to find our rhythm and to find our voice, so that we're able to bring our gifts to the ministry to better the body, to better the ministry.
Hey, now when you go into the etymology of prove, because the scripture said what? Prove thy soul, all right, in thy lifetime. If you could read that one more time, all right?
Yep, this is Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 37 and verse 27. It says, "My son, prove thy soul in thy life, and see what is evil for it, and give not that unto it."
So it says, prove thy soul in thy life. All right, when you go into the etymology of prove, it says to try by experience, or by a test or standard, evaluate, demonstrate, and practice. So throughout our lifetime, as we journey in this truth, we learn, we grow, we understand the precepts, we begin to take the milk in. But at the same time, you're also learning how to conduct yourself with this truth. You're learning what works for you in this truth, what's lawful and what's expedient for you. Mm-hmm. You may have a brother that, that brother can handle his liquor better than the next brother. And you have to examine yourself and understand if it works for you and if it doesn't. You may have a brother who can maintain more than one woman and have no issue with that. But you have to examine yourself, all right? And you have to understand and be honest with yourself if that's something that you can actually handle, and if that's not what you can handle. And the only way you can do that is by to try it by experience, which is what it is to prove thine own soul. Because everything is lawful. All things are lawful concerning the law, but everything ain't expedient for every brother.
Right.
And that's just the reality. Everything ain't expedient for every brother. And you have to find your voice. You may be gifted at history. You may be gifted at current news. You may know the economy. You may be the brother with the precepts. You may be the brother that can break down prophecy. All right, you know how to go into the almond tree, and you know how to go into certain different things that may be deep, dark sayings, and you're able to break those things down. All these gifts are given to complement the body, but you have to prove your own soul to find out what gifts you have, because the scriptures say all things are not in all men, because we're not immortal. So the Lord has given us particular gifts in the spirit that you have to find and prove for yourself.
Right, and finding those gifts helps to eliminate envy. It helps to eliminate strife when you find your personal gift. I got this real quick for you.
Yep.
This is 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 6. But godliness with contentment is great gain. You know, and once we find our gift and we're content with it, it helps to eliminate that envy and that strife you may find yourself having when you don't necessarily know your voice. Or I wish I had this, or I wish I had that gift, or I wish I could talk like that brother, or speak like that brother, or bring out precepts like that brother. You know, once you find your gift and you are content with it, the less envious you are and the more understanding you are of what your importance is to the body.
I got a precept for you right now. This is Galatians 6 and 4. But let every man prove his own work. Then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone and not in another. Now, when you go into the NLT, it says, pay careful attention to your own work, for then you will get the satisfaction of a job well done, and you won't need to compare yourselves to anyone else.
Right, and this isn't like the world, man. The Lord didn't raise up a bunch of niggas to where this is a competition. You know, that competitive spirit is the spirit of this world, man. When you're around Jakes in this world, it's a competitive spirit. You know, but in this truth of ours, man, it's not no competition. Every man has a gift according to the dispensation of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You know, and once we find that gift, it's important that we abound in that gift, man, because that brings about confidence, which is where that competitive spirit comes from, a lack of confidence, really. Because when Jake isn't confident in what they are able to do, their capabilities and their skill and their gift, they begin to be envious of other men's gifts. That lack of confidence brings about competition, that competitive spirit. So the more and more we learn to abound in our personal gifts, the more we learn to find our rhythm, our voice in this truth, the more confident we become. Okay, I can't speak like that, but the Lord gave me the ability to go into this history, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Right. And the body is edified as a result.
Right.
Or I can't go into the history, but the Lord gave me the ability to break things down Similac form to people, so to where people can understand me. And the body is edified as a result. The more and more we find our own rhythm and our own voice, the better, the more capable we become as vessels of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. The more capable as a body we become.
Yeah, because if the eye's concentration is the fact that they not the ear, how can it abound? You know, because the brother talked about contentment. Contentment don't mean complacency. It means you appreciate the gift the Lord gave you, and from there you can abound in that gift. You can still become more well-rounded, all right? If you're not good at prophecy, you can still go into the scriptures and learn how to be better at the prophecies. But your exceptional gift may be something different, all right? Because, again, it goes into abounding, and you may learn from another brother. That's why the camps, when you deal with brothers who understand and who are involved with the camp, you'll notice that every brother has a different gift. Every brother has a different type of spirit, and all of that complements and creates a perfect unity in the body. Because if every brother was the same with strengths and weaknesses, there wouldn't be a well-developed body to edify. Everything has to be slightly different to complement each other. So where this brother's weak at, another brother's strong at, you have to see that and accept that and appreciate that. That's a gift that the Lord is giving you, a certain strength, and another brother a certain weakness, so that you complement each other.
Right. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 12 and verse 12. It says, for as the body is one and have many members, and all the members of that one body, being many, are one body, so also is Hamashiach. For by one Spirit are we all baptized into one body, whether we be Jews or Gentiles.
Hey, and that's the commonality. The common denominator is that we believe in Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and our faith has brought us to this point. That's the common denominator. Inside of that, You have to find out and test your spirit to find out what your gift is. Also, what are your weaknesses? All right, what things could potentially cause you to fall, all right, in your walk? What things complement your journey? What things help you be a better brother? You may have that war is me spirit, and then you may find out that working out helps you release that frustration so that you can come around the brothers and not have a dark cloud over your head.
Right.
But that goes into finding your voice and proving yourself.
It says, whether we be bond or free, and have been all made to drink into one spirit. For the body is not one member, but many. If the foot shall say, because I am not the hand, I am not of the body, is it therefore not of the body? And if the ear shall say, because I am not the eye, I am not of the body, is it therefore not of the body? If the whole body were an eye, where were the hearing? If the whole were hearing, where were the smelling? But now hath the Heavenly Father set the members, every one of them, in the body as it have pleased him.
As it has pleased him. Because ultimately there is no accidents and there are no coincidences. Everything happens for a reason, and every brother was made with particular experiences for a reason. It's a reason that brother's walk was like that and your walk was like this. Because all of our experiences prior to this truth feeds into who we are in this truth. And it was all intentional. And when you understand that, you begin to appreciate your walk, and that's what you should do. And that's how you eliminate covetousness. Man, I wish my experiences was like that. Why? Why, when you got a brother right there whose experiences is like that?
Right.
For those brothers who have those similar walks. All of these things are for the edifying of the body. And we're coming into a time through the spirit where in order for you to appreciate the whole, you have to examine the individual. So in order for you to be a good brother in the body, you have to know who you are as an individual. The strengths, your weaknesses, what will help you be better in this truth, what will help your walk. What are you gifted at in the ministry? What are you not gifted at? It doesn't mean that you neglect what you're not gifted at. You still strive to be more well-rounded, but there are particular gifts that the Lord has given you, all right, that he hasn't given another brother, and there are particular gifts that the Lord has given another brother that he hasn't given you. So we all are fitly framed together. But you have to find your own voice. You have to find what's good for you and what's not. You have to find out what are your gifts, and that calls for examination.
Right, and that personal gift that you have has been tailor-made.
Right.
You know, like the brother said, there's a reason why the Lord allowed you to go through school and to go through some college and to graduate. It's a certain reason why the Lord allows certain brothers to drop out. Different experiences come with different gifts. You know, it's a reason why your life is tailor-made to this point, because through your experiences, you're going to be able to give a different perspective. You know, you're going to be able to give a different level of exhortation to some brothers who may not be reached through that brother who didn't have your same experiences, man. But this is Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 11. And he gave some apostles and some prophets and some evangelists and some pastors and some teachers for the perfecting of the saints, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Mashiach, till we all come into the unity of the faith and of the knowledge of the heavenly Son of God, unto a perfect man, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of a Mashiach. So all these things, the Lord gave us apostles, prophets, teachers. He gave brothers gifts of history, prophecy, speaking, you know, all for the perfecting of the saints, all for the unification of the body. All right, and it's important that once we find that rhythm, you know, you abound in it, because that rhythm is needful for the body. And you may not understand what we're speaking about right off bat in this lesson. It may take some time to ponder on what it means, what we're talking about on finding your rhythm. You know, nevertheless, this seed was planted for a reason. It's a necessity to find your rhythm in this truth. Once you find it, that's when the body is able to be edified. That's when you become a better man. You become a better vessel of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. You know, that's what the brother's speaking about when he goes into, you know, having your, that's a gator over there, making that noise. Yeah, that's a gator.
You see it?
It's somewhere over there. In that tall grass?
Yeah.
It sounds like it's somewhere over there.
Yeah, but that goes into the beauty of finding your own voice. You have to examine yourself through the spirit to understand what your voice is, what your gift is. And as you understand that through the spirit, you become a better asset to the body, because you know your strengths, you know your weaknesses, you know what keeps you balanced in this truth. And the only way you can find that out is by proving your own soul in this lifetime and figuring out what's good for and what's not.
Mm-hmm. You had another one?
No, that's it.
Hey, so with that, Lord, when this is edifying, you want to give all praise, honor, and glory
To Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rukakodash.
and double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and grace and peace to you elect around the four winds, believing and pushing this truth in all sincerity. May the blessing of election be upon your houses. Shalom.
Shalom.